Hello and welcome to Hidden Peels for Java High Performance Persistence. My name is Sven Ruppert and I will explain in this series a little bit about unknown or not well-known frameworks that you can use for high performance persistence inside your Java application, so embedded persistence for Java applications. Today I want to have a look at mapDB, and if this is interesting for you, stay tuned. mapDB. mapDB is an open source project. You can find it on GitHub. The link is in the description. Just call me and I can give you the link and the detailed information about it. So, mapDB. mapDB is on Apache 2 license. That's good because then you mostly have no challenges with your business if you're using this one, and it's a drop-in replacement for maps, lists and queues. You have this drop-in replacement for the data structures in two flavors. You have it in on and off heap implementations, so you can use this exactly like this, on heap and off heap, and with all pros and cons. So if you're using the off heap implementation, make sure that you're checking what is a used JDK from this guy, and then use exactly the same one, or test it really intensively if it is running with your different JDK. There are some really cool features I want to explain a little bit later, but first of all, you can use this one like a database kernel or database or persistence kernel, and this is delivered with transactions, and transactions are based on MVCC. If you want to know what's MVCC, check out the link to this section, because there is a link to MVCC, and check out Wikipedia about this one. So what you can do with this and how to get it. How to get it is quite easy. You're using as group ID is org.mapdb, and the artifact ID is just mapdb and then the latest version. So during the time I'm recording this talk, 3.08 is the actual version, and there is version 4 in planning, but yeah, well, this is since a long time planned but not delivered. So 3.0.8 is a very robust and stable version, and you should start with this one. So how to use this? If you're adding this dependency, you have access to a class called dbmaker. dbmaker will give you the possibility to create a DB, and this is nothing else as a memory allocated DB or a file-based DB. What I'm doing here is I'm just creating a file-based DB, and the method is filedb, and the param is the location on your hard disk. And if you're ramping the whole application down, then make just a backup from this location, and then you can backup and restore just with tar.gz, for example. You have different convenience methods like encrypt enabled and then delivering a password. This is convenient if you are using mapDB, for example, on mobile devices or whatever. Otherwise, just call make, and then you have a DB. The DB is the first entry that you are using to create instance of your map or queue or list or whatever you want to use. I'm showing here the map itself. So it means you're going here to map db dot, and then, for example, call tree map. What you need is an ID, the entity or the ID of the map you want to create. You can recreate maps, or you can create new one or load existing ones. Make sure that the naming schema is a scalable one. And then you need two things. You need the serializer for the keys and the serializer for the value. A lot of serializers are delivered with this project, so have a look there, and otherwise you will find documentation how to use Creo or whatever serializer, or just write your own. And then you can say create or open. So if it is available already with this ID, you will get this one, otherwise it will create in the background a new entity of this hash map. How to use this one? It is very easy because we have just a map and you can use it as a drop-in replacement. So you have put and get and so on. And the cool thing is it's transactional. So you have it already with commit and rollback. So if you're just saying put A, put B, and then commit, it's exactly what it looks like. It's a commit. If you are adding a value and saying rollback, then it's doing exactly what you're expecting. It makes a rollback. So you have on this the core data structures commit and rollback. That's really cool. But really cool stuff of mapDB is if you have to deal with core data structures, maps, lists, and so on, and you not only need transactional behavior, but you need something like overflow or a caching hierarchy or whatever, then you have the possibility to build a hierarchy of these maps or lists or queues. Here in this example I show is, for example, dbmaker.filedb. So I'm creating filedb, and after this I'm creating a memory DB as well. So now I have two DBs. One is just in the memory and one is on the file system. The disk DB, so the file system DB, I create a hash map with an ID. Here it's called on disk, and this map I can just use like shown before with commit and rollback and all this stuff, but I can now add a memory hash map in front of it. So I'm going to this DB memory or memory DB and creating the second hash map, and I can define a few attributes for the eviction algorithm. So for example, expired after this amount of time. I can say, okay, what is executor pool you're using for this cleanup and so on. The really cool and fancy feature here is that you can say expire overflow, and then you are just connecting with this method the hash map that is based on the disk DB. What's happening now is if you're just pushing stuff in the memory one, it's holding it in the memory. If you're calling commit, it will write down everything down to disk over this other hash map. If you're just pushing data in and there is this eviction algorithm working, then everything that should be cleaned will be written down to the persistent disk first. So what you have a cascaded data structure with commit and rollback, and this is a whole caching hierarchy, and it's just a drop-in replacement for existing maps, lists, queues, and so on. So this is a really cool feature. So if you want to build caching structures, or you want to just build your app model based on the core data structures from the JDK, and you want to have the possibility just to say save, then mapDB is a really good and performant solution. If you're checking out the roadmap, the version 3. Something is a quite old one, a stable one, and if you don't have issues or you're not able to find a bug there in the issue list, then it's really recommended to use this one if you have the need for this hierarchy of data structures. It's really fast. You can have it in on heap and off heap. You can buy support. It's maintained by one person, and this is a limitation in the same way. So it's a pro and con in the same way. So you can discuss with him and he can immediately say, okay, I will implement it, yes or no. You can pay him for implementing additional features, but on the same time, if he is not available, he is just not available, and then there is no support. So if your application is running well with this 3. Something and there is no known bug, it's really a stable solution, use it. You can buy support from this person. But if you are looking at the timetable for features that are delivered with the next version don't count on this one. This roadmap is, I don't know, 2 years old and still work in progress. Yeah, it's completely written in Java and Kotlin, so and it's open source. You can dig down in this one and have in mind that you have to deal with with the serialization of your attributes. So the best thing is you are just trying it out, and if you have some comments, let me know. Otherwise, yeah, happy testing.